Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Nate here, and you're probably expecting me to tell you that Skyrim's a big game or something. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. The Elder Scrolls V is so large that even 7 years after her debut on that oh-so-memorable 11/11 release date, not all of the secrets this world holds and activities we may partake in have been discovered by everyone. But that's a problem we're here to solve. Just sit back and relax as we dive into 5 more things you probably didn't know you could do in The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Part 17. Starting off, during the quest, Boethiah's Calling, the Daedric Prince of Plots, Treachery, and Conspiracies will make the Dragonborn her new champion after you sacrifice one of your trusted followers to her. I know, to the uninitiated it's pretty horrifying and evil. But long story short, once you've become Boethiah's champion, she'll ask a favor of you. You see, the last guy she called champion sort of abandoned her. He stopped listening to the god's orders and ran off to do his own thing. Boethiah considers this a major betrayal, which is a bit ironic as she's basically the god of betrayal, but I digress. After explaining, Boethiah will then ask that you find and kill him. He now leads a gang of bandits at Knife Point Ridge, a major encampment and mine in Falkreath, and will be wearing a unique set of ebony mail armor that long ago was blessed by the Daedra. She'll allow you to keep that armor as your reward once you've taken care of him. As you can probably imagine, the remainder of the mission will play out as a typical dungeon crawl. You'll head to the bandit camp, cut your way through all the bandits, and defeat the ex-champion to complete the quest. Now, as soon as that ex-champion detects you, he'll be hostile, attacking on sight. So you probably assume that this guy doesn't have much to say. I mean, he just starts attacking you. But he does. If the player has a powerful enough comm spell, or the Voice of the Emperor ability, which can be used to turn otherwise hostile NPCs passive for short periods of time, and you use such a power on the champion while he attempts to murder you to death, he'll sheath his weapon, and you'll actually be able to enter a conversation with him, where you can prompt the champion to explain his motivations for forsaking Boethiah, and he'll say all sorts of otherwise hidden dialogue.
Yes, sirrah. That was a long time ago. A Prince of Plots usually gets what she wants. I'm surprised I'm not dead already. She must have had some reason to keep me alive so long. Mind my words, or I'll mind them for you. I'm slave to no man, no god, and no Daedra. Boethiah talks about leaving your mark, a sign of your passing. Well, you can make a mark on the world without treachery and murder. Whenever a man's life is saved by armor made with these hands have changed that man's destiny and his family's. A man who feels no fear has no heart. I know fear, but it does not control me. If you desire to fight me, then let's get this over with.
Next on our list, the Restoration School of Magic deals with all sorts of healing and ward spells, as well as some related to the undead, and weakening them / making them flee from battle. Well, within the Restoration skill tree, after you've reached level 70, you'll be eligible to learn a new perk, called Necro Mage, which increases the strength of all spells used against the undead by 25%, and increases the duration, or time those spells last, by 50%. So essentially what this means is that if you have this perk enabled, flame spells will do more damage, and fear spells will keep them scared away for longer. This all sounds well and good. However, here's the thing. If the Dragonborn becomes a vampire, the game will very much classify you as undead too. What this means is that with the Necro Mage perk, and as a vampire, again technically making you undead, all the spells you cast on yourself will in turn be 25% stronger and last 50% longer. Furthermore, it's really not just spells that are affected. At least, not just normal spells. Skyrim's game engine also classifies all potions, enchantments, and even some other skills and shouts as spells too. This in turn means that all enchanted armor will be more effective, as will any potions you choose to consume. So, if you've got the Dawnguard DLC and are looking to make your vampire self even more powerful, this is definitely one route to take. Coming at number 3, after joining Riften's Thieves Guild, your character will be added into the game files as a member of their faction. Now, this may seem rather obvious, but one of the more prominent effects of such a classification is that now all other Thieves Guild members will identify you as a permanent ally, and defend the player whenever attacked. Something unique about Thieves Guild members, when compared to other factions, is that they'll also defend you from hold guards. Most NPCs from other guilds, say the College of Winterhold or the Companions, are also listed as members of their local hold's crime faction, with their guards. Meaning that since they're also technically in the same faction as their local hold's guards, they won't protect you from them. But Thieves Guild agents don't share such a relationship with Riften's guards in the game data. This is likely because they are a literal criminal cabal. So say you walk up to a guard and punch him. You can expect any fellow thieves nearby to come to your aid in the ensuing fight. This is pretty interesting. But, as one commenter pointed out, we can take this whole concept a step further. If you enter the Thieves Guild cistern from its entrance in Riften's graveyard while being pursued by guards, the guards will follow you inside. But since they're in a faction with you, all the thieves also in the cistern will quickly take up arms and fight alongside you. The typical result of this will be a massive sort of battle that, thanks to a whole lot of essential NPCs, the thieves should win. Though possibly at the expense of some non-essential thieves' lives as well. Whatever the cost, next time you're being pursued by Riften's finest, know that depending on who your allies are, you might have some friends willing to fight on your side. For 4th spot, upon first entering the Riverwood Trader, a shop in Riverwood, you'll bear witness to an argument just wrapping up between the store's owner, Lucan Valerius, and his sister Camilla. They're debating what to do after one of their particularly special artifacts was stolen. An item called the Golden Claw. Camilla believes it's in the possession of bandits operating out of Bleak Falls Barrow, and wants to go out and personally confront them. For his part, Lucan, quite rightfully, thinks that idea is terrible and refuses to allow her to do such a thing. But if you offer to take up such a task, he'll promise to reward you generously if you're able to find that oh-so-beloved piece of metal. The TLDR is that from here you simply head to the dungeon, clear it out of some bandits, and you'll eventually find the claw in the possession of a trapped dark elf, humorously named Arvel the Swift. It's funny because his title is the Swift, but he got captured by Spider, you get the idea. Anyway, all you need to do is free and murder him to death, take the claw back to Lucan, and collect your reward to complete the quest. However, if between accepting the mission from Lucan and bringing him back the claw, you decide to do something truly horrific and kill Camilla, his dialogue when rewarding you will be quite different, and vary depending on whether or not you took her out stealthfully. If he's aware that you killed her, he'll still give you a reward, but be a lot more belligerent about it. Take a listen.
You're back from Bleak Falls. Did you find anything? Thanks. I only wish Camilla was here to see it. Thanks, I guess this was the least you could do after what happened to Camilla.
And finally, last on our list, is something everyone's probably thought about doing, but Bethesda took deliberate steps to make impossible. Sort of. Let me explain. When you enter Solitude's gates for the first time, you'll get to bear witness to the very public execution of Rogvir. Apparently, he was a member of the town's guard when Ulfric Stormcloak stopped by and killed High King Torrig. After this happened, Rogvir opened the city's gates to allow Stormcloak to escape. For that, he's been charged with treason and sentenced to death. Now, Rogvir of course argues that Ulfric didn't just murder Torrig, he defeated him in a customary duel, and as a result committed no crime and had the right to leave the city anyway. But the Empire isn't buying such a defense, and on the day you first walk into Solitude, they're putting him to the sword. Or axe, I suppose. The townsfolk seem a bit divided on the matter. Some are disgusted with the Nord's actions, and view him as perfectly deserving of his fate, while others agree with what he did, and resent his impending death. No matter, after being read his final rites and getting to say some last words, he'll be sent to Sovngarde. But if you're feeling a bit sympathetic, the Dragonborn can take some steps to save him. At least, save him from the decapitation. Should you kill the executioner and nearby guards, our Nordic friend's death will be postponed. Mind you, I say postponed. You'll see what I mean in a bit here. Now, this is quite difficult to do in and of itself. because as soon as you initiate combat with anyone in the city, guards will immediately just start trying to attack Rogvir, so you'll have to keep him protected even after the henchmen lay dead. However, even if you are able to successfully guard him, and yourself for that matter, from the ensuing onslaught of guards and concerned citizens, your efforts will ultimately prove to be in vain, as Rogvir, after all that effort, will just sort of automatically die in a few minutes anyway. Just randomly, it's like he has a heart attack or something. Even if spared from the headsman's axe, Rogvir is still doomed thanks to the game's scripts. Furthermore, he won't even offer any unique dialogue or conversation options for the brief few seconds you are keeping him alive. The process all seems so weird, and it's obvious that Bethesda really didn't want anyone to save Rogvir at all. Things can get especially weird if you save Rogvir, and before the scripts are able to kill him, you leave the city. If this happens, Rogvir will be teleported to a special room in Skyrim that's inaccessible without console commands, known as the Dead Body Cleanup Cell. Here he'll be attacked and killed by a clone of Malborn, a bossmer you meet in the game's main storyline. If this all sounds weird and doesn't make any sense, it's not supposed to. The reason for the teleportation to this weird room seems to be that if you leave Solitude while Rogvir's still alive, the game won't really know what to do with him, as a script that automatically kills him can't work if you're not in the same room. So they move him to a room where he can be killed by an NPC instead. At least, that seems to be the reasoning behind all of this. So, in case you didn't know, you can save Rogvir, just not for a very long time. But on that helpless note, we are going to wrap up. 5 more things you probably didn't know you could do in The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Part 17. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Which of what we covered today did you find to be the coolest or most fascinating? And what lesser-known activities/things to do you know of that I've yet to cover? Leave a comment down below. Again, thanks for watching. As always, like ratings are very much appreciated, and hope to catch you all in my next video. Peace out, everyone.